On this episode of Laid Back History, we're looking behind the walls of the LeMoyne House. I want to welcome you back to an all-new episode of Laid Back History. We've been gone for a while. We've been gone for 6 months or so from doing Laid Back Histories, maybe 8. Not real sure what it is, but we've been gone for a while because we've been busy. We've been so busy working on the restoration of the LeMoyne House, the setting up our new research and education center. We've had other projects that are happening. And so we've just been swamped, and I've held off on doing new episodes of Laid Back History. There's also another reason for that, which I'm not gonna say now. I wanna wait and make a bigger announcement later on. But we've got big things happening here at the LeMoyne House at the Washington County Historical Society. And so as we were working on the restoration, something amazing turned up, something that I never expected. I don't think anybody expected. Now, behind me, you're going to see the staircase. Now, I've talked about this staircase before, maybe in another episode of Laid Back History, but this is not the original staircase here at the LeMoyne House. This is a staircase that was retrofitted sometime around 1855. The original staircase was actually a spiral staircase. And so down on the floor below me here, you can actually see the stain on the floor of where the center post was, where it went straight up. So you had your center post here, and then the stairs spiraled around up to the second floor. Then you had to go to the end of the hall, and there was another staircase that went up to the third floor. Well, that staircase was taken out and replaced with this one, like I said, around 1855. Because it was retrofitted in, it has sunk a little bit. You can see some areas where it has started to push against itself. It's actually doing what it's supposed to do. It's leaning in on itself, pinching in so that it won't fall over. But over the last, what would it be, 80 some years, 180 years, something like that. I can't do math. So it has started to loosen, and we just wanted to do some work on it. So we decided to do some repairs. We did some exploratories, and that's where the amazing thing came. And I'll get to that in just a second. The spiral staircase that was here was not, I don't want to say it was unique. It's unique for this area. You don't see a lot of spiral staircases in the early 19th century, but it was, it was somewhat of a standard design of that period, just not for this region. The interesting thing is we have the staircase upstairs. When it was taken out, they kept most of the pieces for it. And so if you go up to the third floor, the railing is still there, the treads are still there, and we can get a great idea of what it looked like. And it looked very similar to a couple of these designs that I found. As I said, it was taken out and fit with this one. So we were doing some work, and it was decided to do some exploratory work. They wanted to take some of the plaster work out and see what was in there. And let's take a look and see exactly what was there. And so as you see here, there's nothing too spectacular about the design. It's a typical staircase. There's nothing really out of the ordinary. There's some old repairs to it here. You can see, if you look over here, you can see some of the original stone, stone wall that they had to chisel out a little bit. You can even see, if you look here, some of the original coloring of this woodworking. It must have been brown prior to the staircase going in, and then the LeMoynes painted it at some point. But over here is where it really got interesting, because we started looking, and if you look up in there, there's a design. In fact, let me put a little bit of more light on it, see if I can get a little more light on it and see if it helps. Look at that design that's in there. See the pattern? Well, we really weren't expecting that. And what's weird is that the plaster work, the horsehair plaster, is over top of that pattern. And so we started doing a little thinking, well, maybe there's some wallpaper that was on here at some point. But why is the plaster over top of it? But where it got really interesting is over here, because we were able to get a really good look here. Let me see if I can get the light on it, get you some good light. Look at that wallpaper. It's a really interesting design, and there's a border up above it. So if you see up there, there's actually a border piece. So there's wallpaper and a border, which we weren't expecting at all. But again, the plaster's over top of the wallpaper, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to us. Well, we kept going a little bit further, and as we went up and worked on wrapping around, we found even more wallpaper. So we had to do some repair work up here as well, and we're gonna do more. We're gonna do extensive work up here actually. And so these treads had to come off. And when we took these treads off, all underneath this board here, there was more wallpaper, and it looks like it continues up. So we actually think, we're starting to think now, when this house was originally built, it's possible that the hallway on the first floor all the way up to the second floor here was actually wallpaper. It wasn't painted like we originally expected. And that kind of changes our whole view of what this house would have looked like in 1812. When people come into the LeMoyne House, they see these hallways, and the first thing they ask, let's say 90% of the time, the first thing they ask, they say, are these original colors? Well, what we tell them is that we try to stick to typical colors of the day. We do know in the parlor, some paint samples have been done, and we know that color is accurate. We know in the bedroom, in the apothecary shop. Out here, in the time I've been here, it's been green. It was a rose color, then a tan, and now you have this off-white color that we just got done doing. And we did this to try to highlight the woodworking trim a little bit. But what we never can tell them that's the original color because we've never really done sampling here. But now that changes. Our answer is going to be completely different. Are these colors original? No. We think originally there was wallpaper. Now, you look at that design, can you imagine that wallpaper going on all these walls all the way up? It almost seems dizzying, doesn't it? That pattern going all the way up. It seems kind of crazy that it would be there. And so I think the questions we're going to get are, wait, they had wallpaper in 1812. And they did. Wallpaper actually dates back to almost 200 BC. In China, they were doing wallpaper, but it doesn't reach Europe until about the 16th century. And then techniques start to improve. It goes on linen, and you see a steady progression of wallpaper. If you go to historic towns, like go to Colonial Williamsburg, you're going to see a lot of wallpaper there. If you go to places a little bit later than that, not so much. It kind of goes a little out of style. Then it really goes into style during the Victorian period, and you see tons of wallpaper. I mean, very ornate designs. But I don't see a lot of them in early 19th century homes like this one. And so the idea that this home was wallpapered, up to the second floor, just astounds me. Now, I doubt that the other rooms were. Like I said, there's been samples taken in the parlor. In an apothecary shop and in a surgery, they're not going to wallpaper. They're just going to put plain walls, probably as bright a color as you can, probably a white, so it reflects the light so you can see most. In the apothecary shop, the yellow is we know what they had. I don't know about the dining room. The original LeMoyne dining room, could it have been wallpapered? If we go in and we do a little more searching, could it have actually been? I could see that, but it changes our view of what this house looked like. And now we've got to dig a little bit further and see what we can find, see what else is hidden in the walls here at the LeMoyne House, because I would have never expected that. If it wasn't for doing the repairs on this, we probably would have never seen that. We would have never known that there was wallpaper there. So I love historic homes because they hide so much. There's so many mysteries that are there. And as we do this restoration to the LeMoyne House, we get to unravel a little bit of that. We get to unravel a little bit of the history of this house. We get to see what's hidden in the walls here at the LeMoyne House. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Laid Back History. We are happy to be back, and I'm excited about some of the newer episodes that are going to be coming out. We've got some wonderful topics, and again, a big announcement. But before we go, On Thursday, this coming Thursday, September 19th, we've got the Washington County Community Foundation's Day of Giving. It's one of the biggest giving days in Washington County during the year. And what it is, it's a opportunity for people to give back to the charities that they like, the charities that they support. And I hope that you'll support the Washington County Historical Society on that day. If you go to the Community Foundation's website, wccfgives.org, search for the Washington County Historical Society, you can give directly there to us. And what's nice is everything that you give is matched from a portion of a $100,000 pool. So if you give us $5, that turns into like $6. If you give us $500, it'll maybe turn into like $525. I'm not sure exactly what the percentage will be. It's based on how many donors we have, how much we get. It's a wonderful day to support the Historical Society. And I hope you do, because we really feel here at the Washington County Historical Society, history matters. It matters for who we are. It matters for who we will be. If you want to see why we are how we are now, look back, because everything that has happened in the past shapes us to where we are right now. So please, on Washington County Community Foundation Giving Days, for the Day of Giving, give to the Washington County Historical Society.